Hello everyone, welcome back to the Biology Bites. So today we'll discuss the concept of pollen-pistil interaction from the chapter Sexual Reproduction in Flowering Plants. So this pollen-pistil interaction refers to the series of physiological and biochemical events that occur from the moment of a pollen grain that lands on stigma until the pollen tube reaches the ovule for fertilization. Now the stigma recognizes whether the pollen is of same species, that is compatible, or different species, that is incompatible. This recognition is mediated by the list of chemicals secreted by both pollen grain and stigma. So these are the chemicals that are secreted by the pollen grains: calcium, proton, potassium, chlorine, magnesium, boron, phosphate, sulfate, ammonium, zinc, purine, amino acid, oligopeptide, lipid, phospholipid, sugar, water. But the important chemicals are calcium and boron. Stigma will secrete the two important chemicals, that is protein and glycoproteins. Protein and glycoproteins. In incompatible pollen, the stigma secretes the nutrients that help pollen grains to germinate and pollen tube emerges from the germ pore. So that is only during the incompatible stage, and then they reach which region? Then they reach the stylar region. They will reach the stylar region. So this long tube is stylar region and move towards an ovary, and the entry will be either through the chalazal region or micropylar region or integument. Most of the time the entry will be through the micropylar region. So this can be named as either porogamy or chalazogamy or mesogamy. This pollen tube growth is chemotrophic, and they are guided by the finger-like structures that is called filiform apparatus, which is found near the synergid cells. Now, all these pollen-pistil interaction is mainly based on the compatible or incompatible. So, when it comes to incompatible, the incompatible is again further classified into, they are further classified into what? Sporophytic and gametophytic. Incompatible is classified into sporophytic and gametophytic. The sporophytic is determined by diploid genotype of the parent and takes place in the stigma surface. Stigma takes place on the stigma surface. Then gametophytic is determined by what? It is determined by haploid. Determined by haploid genotype of the pollen grain and takes place inside the stylar region. So this sporophytic and gametophytic interactions is mainly based on which allele? It is mainly based on S allele. S stands for what? Self-incompatibility allele. The gene should match between, what and what? It should match between the stigma and pollen grain. If the gene matches between the stigma and pollen grain, the fertilization process takes place and the zygote is developed and embryo is developed. Right. So all these concepts comes under what? Pollen-pistil interaction. Then later on, the type of fertilization, the post-fertilization, when it comes to post-fertilization, the type of fertilization that takes place is double fertilization. So in the double fertilization, here you will see the two types, that is triple fusion and the syngamy. So then later on the embryo development, endosperm development takes place, which further leads to the seed and the fruit development. Right. So this is about the pollen-pistil interaction. So coming to the MCQ questions, the pollen-pistil interaction is mediated by what? Enzymes, hormones, chemical substances secreted by stigma and style, or water? The pollen-pistil interaction is mediated by chemical substances. It is not by enzymes, it is not by hormones, it is not by water. So as just discussed, we already mentioned that the pollens and the stigma, they release the chemicals and they are chemotrophic. Chemo means what? Chemical based. So that means the option is third one. Which event occurs during pollen-pistil interaction but before fertilization? So it can be double fertilization or embryo formation or pollen tube entry into oval or endosperm. See, please understand the question. They have asked before. Before means you will never see any double fertilization, embryo or endosperm. All these process takes place only after fertilization. So the before fertilization means the option will be third one, pollen tube entry into ovule. Hope these concepts are clear. Thank you.